Thank you. Vasyl, welcome to the stream. It's been a while. How are you doing in the situation that you're in?
Hello, everyone. Um, it's very complicated to represent what you feel or something like that. This tragedy is continue from one tragedy to another one, from one war crime to another one. It's like a unstopped horrible movie or something like that. Um, it's very difficult to describe
Yeah,
because every day can be another tragedy, and you live in, 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 in tragedy after tragedy.
I just wanted to put into context for the people who might not know. Vasyl is one of the associate members of Tochnyi, and he lives in Dnipro. I was very fortunate to meet Vasyl in Dnipro this summer, and I have to say, like from a personal experience, things were different there, or it feels like at least things were different, and it's turned much worse since I visited the Dnipro in the summer, right?
Yeah. Yeah, after you have visited Dnipro, I think maybe four big big attacks, rocket attacks have been done. Big attacks, and not big. I think it's dozens ones. Big, it's like apartment building on Voskresenska Street, or apartment building near train station, or I can go on, but I don't want.
Yeah. So, what would you share with us that you experienced this weekend?
Yeah, it was on Friday. I think air alerts were maybe 1 minute or less, and after that I have heard three explosions. It was ballistic missiles, because when it is not ballistic missiles, we have air alerts beforehand, and you have more time. But when we talk about ballistic missiles, you don't have time at all. It it can be in any moment. Air alert can be in half of a minute, or before or after, and it's a lottery, some kind of lottery, bad lottery. Um, I want to say that today finished rescue operation, and we have 5 killed person in Dnipro, and more than 20 people injured, in different kinds of injured. Also, one apartment building were destroyed at all, and hospital and many apartment buildings were damaged, and also hospital was damaged. And I have asked. I know the chairman, chief of the hospital, and that moment, maybe 5 minutes after that, 10 minutes, I have written him and asked him, is it it's easy to say, is it okay? I asked him if anybody killed in hospital or something like that, and he said it's plus minus okay. But hospital was damaged. In that moment, in hospital were going two operations, and even one doctor who make surgery, he was injured. He was injured in his neck. Um, and also on territory of hospital have been found many parts of not a rocket, but some it's it's complicated to me to express or to subscribe. It's some kinds of small metal parts of rockets. I think it's when you put in rocket also small balls, metal or something like that to make more casualties to civilians.
Yeah, so basically, you're saying that they found pre-fragmented warhead, like proof of the Russians using pre-fragmented warheads to,
Yeah, yeah,
which means
yeah,
that they want to harm people.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Because there were find out I think several buckets or maybe 5 buckets of such shit on territory of hospital.
Yeah, so to illustrate this, this is stuff that is used to tactically in war to destroy either special material like air defense systems, etc., that are vulnerable to these kind of fragments, or anti-personnel. And if you launch that on a city and not on any kind of strategic object, it means that you're trying to maximize your damage on people, which is quite horrifying.
And as my lawyer, I understand that it's absolutely ideal, bad word for this, but I will use it, war crime, example of war crime, because it is forbidden to use such weapon to in such cities like Dnipro. It's near 1 million people city. And you should understand that we are talking about that this hospital is situated in center of city. It's not far from. It's not far. It's not suburbs. It's absolutely center.
Yeah, so to put this into context, of course, everything that Russia does militarily against Ukraine is illegal because it's an illegal war. But if you put the benefit of the doubt on the Russian side, that they would be actually fighting a just war, which they're not, it would be illegal to use these kind of munitions inside the city, because the potential damage to civilians is so large that it doesn't justify the means. So in the laws of war, you can you can definitely do some strikes which have collateral damage calculated into the risk, but if the risk is that you're harming more civilians than potential military targets, then and the potential military capabilities that you're aiming for,
And at
then it's
Erlend, I want
it's
to add
illegal.
that, yeah, it's absolutely illegal, but it's illegal also because of the aim. Hospital, it it isn't legal aim, absolutely. When you attack hospital, it's illegal.
Yeah, it's there are special protected measures when it comes to hospitals and other medical facilities. I'm not a lawyer, so I can't explain in detail this, but
Yeah, yeah.
there are definitely special protective laws when it comes to medical facilities and personnel that are evacuating wounded, being it military or civilian. Um, and the threshold for carrying out an attack against a hospital is so high that it's almost impossible to justify it.
Yeah.
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 Are there any things you want to say to the listeners, Vasyl? This is it's really heartbreaking to hear your testimony, but I think it's very important for us.
Oh, it's as I said before, it's very complicated to describe feelings, to describe understanding that you are living in some kind of lottery. and in every moment, what I can say, I can only maybe ask your politicians to support Ukraine, because if we had enough air defense capabilities, or if we have right to use deep state do deep strike attacks in Russian territory, we can live in a safer world. What I can say. And I want to say thank you to all team of Tochnyi that you continue to spreading truth, and I think it's very important in such times when we live, when Twitter is going in not from, it is going from free speech and truth um, to some to some kind of dictatorship in spreading information. That is why it's very important. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Vasyl, for coming on and sharing that with us, man. You're welcome on any time, of course. I think question for Brendan, like, are the names of Russian soldiers responsible for the crimes being tracked? Can you talk a little about that?
In terms of the names of guys being tracked, I'm not tracking names necessarily right now. I mean, I do have a couple that I've found, for example, there's I don't have his name off the top of my head, but it's in my last article actually. He was strumming the guitar, playing a song for International Women's Day, and they posted his name on Alex Osvodomitel's sort of war crime blog, I guess is the best way to describe it now at this point. The way that some of these Russian perpetrators popularize their crimes as well. So I mean, there are people that are tracking it, though. I've been in contact with some people through the basement, and I can't say who they work with. But yeah, they're working on tracking the names of those people. But yeah, I think Alexei Volkov might be Osvodomitel Alex, but I don't know if that I don't know if I just doxed him. I don't know if that's real, but I'm going to stop there because I don't want to speculate any further.
Yeah, I would say it's like not uncommon. It's not the norm, but it's not also not uncommon for these guys. I mean, everybody has kind of a nom de guerre, right? Like a little nickname. This is true, I would say, also on the Ukrainian side. So like, it's a matter of taking that nickname, linking it to some kind of picture or, you know, social media profile or some connection to a real person's social media profile, right? Maybe they mention a girlfriend or a birthday, things like that. You link this username to, or, you know, nickname to a real name and a social media profile. And it's not uncommon that those soldiers have been found in certain cases. You know, it's a matter of legwork and investigation, and you know, it doesn't happen all the time, but it happens sometimes.
Can I add?
Yeah.
I want to add in this to this question. Maybe you have heard, maybe this week were killed in Russia were killed Russia pilot or head of pilots, which organized attack on Dnipro in January 2023, when were destroyed apartment building in Dnipro and killed more than 50 people. He were killed this week by hammer.
Yeah, and this is a kind of different messaging from GUR, because they posted about this happening. They didn't say we did it directly, but they heavily inferred that they were responsible somehow for this. And I think it's absolutely legitimate for Ukraine to prosecute assassinations inside Russia when it's directed at people directly responsible for the war. But for some reason, they haven't been messaging in this way about these things happening, even if there has been some things happening inside Russia, or at least Russian-controlled territory, with car bombings, etc., which have taken out personnel that have been directly involved with war crimes. So
I think it's a logical way, because when you kill dozens people, sometimes hammer can beat your head. I think it's absolutely can be.
do you think that Ukraine have been careful about this kind of messaging before?
I think I will not say that we did this, yeah, but I understand that sometimes something like that happen in Russia, and it's happens usually. I remember dozens stories about such kinds of stories. It's another way to find justice, maybe.
Yeah, and it's also to go after key military personnel as well. So I mean, it's a totally legitimate way to prosecute the war.
Yeah, but in Ukraine also we have criminal procedures. Also we have procedures trials. Maybe you know such term in absentia. It is the trials where some people who were prosecuted. He isn't in Ukraine, but our judicial system find out his name, evidence, and everything like that, and start procedure in absentia. It's procedure without him in Ukraine, but court look for evidence. And other, and make a decision after that about guilty or not guilty.
Yeah, all I have is the experience of just week to week. I report on those kind of operational things, and from what I can tell, Erlend, it seems kind of arbitrary. I'm sure there is a system behind it, but like in terms of what they take credit for and what they don't, I'm sure sometimes it's possible that either another agency or whatever did it, and it's not horror. But it seems a little, I don't want to say arbitrary, but like I can't tell why they take credit for this one and not for that one. You know what I mean? It's seems kind of random to me, but I'm sure it isn't.
Can I
Diving
add to
in-
Vasyl's point? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
To add to Vasyl's point, all of the local prosecutors' offices are very transparent about who they're charging with what, and they post all of that on their Telegram channels. So if there are audience members that are looking for resources about potential perpetrators, potential other crimes that we have started to map more with Andrew as well. So you can find those open sources and see the extent to which certain crimes are perpetrated, like treason. A lot of the time, like Vasyl had said, those people are tried in absentia. People who were in occupation administrations and helped perpetrate war crimes, as well as sort of more sinister things. Like what comes to mind is what went on in Yehidna in 2022. There's still people from 2022 whose cases are being processed now, and they're finally finding the identities of soldiers from around places like Tuva and Berdyatia that were in those units, and then posting their pictures and a full description of the crime. And so that's all available. So I wanted to make that clear as well to the audience.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to say thank you to Vasyl for coming on and sharing this with us. It's really hard to hear what you're experiencing, and I just wish that you and your loved ones will be safe. Take care.
Yeah, thank you. I hope our world be safer after this war.
Yeah.
Yeah, goodbye to all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you again, Vasyl, and hope to hear from you soon.